quickly before you get another audience question, the Game of Thrones thing. Now, this was something that just came straight out of your head, right? Is that right? You would just tell us how the light bulb went off, or how you got obsessed with this.
So the short version is that using my knowledge of geology and geological history, I was able to go through the Game of Thrones books, the TV show, and I'll say too many other websites, to build a 500 million year plus geological history of the Game of Thrones planet, which you can see in that colorful map in the middle there. And the project began with me sitting around with a friend of mine, and we're big pop culture fans, we're big Game of Thrones fans, and he's a climate scientist. My friend's a climate scientist. And he was wondering about how in the Game of Thrones universe, seasons make no sense. Like all of a sudden it's winter for 2 years, and then it's summer for 3 months, and then it's winter for 2 weeks, and then it's summer for 5 years. And it just made no sense. And there have been a lot of people who have actually run like physical models, physics-based models, to try to figure out how this works. Short answer, it doesn't. And so my friend's hypothesis was, wait a minute, fire, burning stuff changes climate. Fire can change climate rapidly. What if it was dragon's fire that was changing the climate really quickly? And rather than laugh, I thought I could calculate that. And that's where that came from.
And so there are plot twists that you're getting, like in the weather patterns, that we're not even appreciating.
Totally.
I guess.
Also, there's a really fun moment for those who are Game of Thrones aficionados, and even if you're not, if you just want to dive into the geology, I go through and explain sort of like similar to this, contour by contour, geologic.
This isn't just a blog post, right? You've got a bunch of
pages of stuff. It's a great read. And you can sort of dive into all of this history. And one of the things that was really interesting is that I was trying my best to make things work. And they worked surprisingly well. Like, that was the shocking part to me. And I finished it, and I was like, good, here it is. And I put it out. And then another friend of mine, who's also a climate scientist, was like, wait a minute. When did you say the last big ice age was? And I went through my calculations, and he went, okay. And what are the elevations of those mountains? And I said, here are the elevations of those mountains. And he was like, okay. Wait, and what's the size? And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm plugging them into my model right now. And he actually was going through to see if the rise of these mountains that I had timed in just in a geological background would match the climate patterns. And spoiler alert, they matched. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So it turns out science works.